Hello and welcome to episode number 58 of the Nintendo Jump Podcast. We are a weekly discussion podcast created for Nintendo gamers by Nintendo gamers. It is the week of July 29th. My name is Darrel. I am a professor at this college, and today I'm once again joined by my co-professor Sergio. How are you, sir?
Hello, Darrel. I'm doing quite well. I am having a little bit of trouble with my students, but we'll manage. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. My students are actually excellent. So, straight A's all around. Here we go. Also, we have yet another honored faculty member. It's our good friend, Professor Kevin. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. As you can already tell, I'm still in the NPR phase because when you're a professor, you just have to talk in this voice, and my students are doing very well. They're excelling as expected. Lots of activities, lots of games, lots of programs, a bunch of food, and a bunch of kombucha. So, there you go.
Oh, wow.
What? I don't think you're supposed to do that. But, I can't really talk because one of my students died, so...
Oh, no.
What am I going to say?
Oh, no.
So, it's only been a week, but it feels like it's been a while since we got together just to talk, and in that meantime has dropped this gigantic bomb of a game. Boom. And I'm just gonna hand it over to Kevin. What are we talking about this week?
Well, Darrel, we're gonna talk about some games that we've been playing, including the one that we've alluded to, and some gaming news. It's gonna be a hodgepodge short spiel, and that's all I have for that. So that's going to be our episode. So with that being said,
excitement.
Yeah. We're going to start with the Three Houses Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Three Houses, the most anticipated game that we've been waiting for quite a while. And yeah, we're going to start with Sergio. Sergio, what is your initial first impressions of the game? How do you like it so far? Are there any gripes? Let's go.
Sure, and you know what? I'm gonna hit you guys right off the bat with my biggest thought and my biggest compliment that I can give to this game. Right? I didn't know I wanted this. Like in typical Nintendo fashion, they deliver something that you didn't know you wanted, but you love it. You love it a lot. And I wanted Fire Emblem, classic, traditional, turn-based strategy. Good stuff. The good stuff that we know. But the majority of the game, I want to say, this school life and the students and everything that I do admit I was complaining about before in some of our previous discussions of the game. I said, show me the gameplay. I don't care about any of this. Oh, now I care a lot. I'm loving every bit about it. The story, the characters, the world, the setting, everything. It's so well done. And of course, the gameplay is just classic. I think that's why they didn't show it. They knew it was good traditional Fire Emblem, so they wanted to focus on the new things. And my mistake, I should have been paying more attention and trusting them before that. But man, I am loving this ride. It's amazing.
Not to just pat myself on the back here, but that sounds almost like verbatim what I said. No, you don't have to worry about it. It's a Fire Emblem game. It's gonna be good. I had no idea how good it was gonna be, actually. In that. I'm with you. The school stuff is amazing. In kind of this weird way that I don't like in a lot of other games, but this one, just whatever reason, it's a little more motivated than most. Like, you have goals, you're giving your students goals, you're training them up to be the characters you want them to be. If you want somebody to train up in a magic class, but they want to be a lance user, you can train them in both, and they can actually use both in certain classes. And it's just that level of customization and just trying to figure out what works is really scratching this like real deep strategy itch for me. And then in between there's these little battles and such. I get those are cool, I guess. But this is like it it feels like the game is a bunch of different games just kind of combined into one, and for some reason it works really well.
Yes.
What about you, Kevin? What do you think initially?
Initially, as like what Sergio has mentioned before, there's one particular direct that I wasn't that impressed with. I wanted to see some gameplay, I wanted to see some action, and I was a bit down on the game. But then, as you mentioned, Darrel, we shouldn't have worried about it, and we shouldn't have worried about it because it's a pretty fantastic game. I love how versatile this game is. Just as a professor, as a just being able to interact with your students and teach skills, and I mean, it just feels like the game is breathing new life in my strategy niche to just play more, of these kind of games. And I'm so enamored by the world, and just the interactions between character to character. I love the dialogue. I think it's not too cheesy, it's not too corny. I talked about how the eyes are very piercing, as an initial impression, and it kind of put me off a little bit, but it doesn't anymore. I don't know. I think I got used to it, and it actually looks pretty nice. Like just the way they made the faces, and just the character types and bodies, and just I mean I feel like this game is like game of the year for me if it keeps this up, because and that's not taking it lightly. I mean there were just days between release date and today where I would just play for quite a number of hours. I'm like, oh, where did the time go? But oh well, I play Fire Emblem. It's all good. I just I got into it pretty well, and yeah, versatile. That's the key word. It's a versatile game with like tactics and simulation story. I mean, there's just so much to do, but the thing is, I don't feel overwhelmed about it, because when you have a lot of customization, just a typical sense of like, oh wow, there's so many things I have to do. I'm stressed out, overwhelmed. I'm like, no, I don't feel like that at all. Like, I feel like even if I make a bit of a mistake in terms of like, talking to certain characters or choosing, did I choose the right dialogue? Like, it's all good. I don't feel like I lost anything. Like, it complements. The game complements very well in my curiosity of like what I want to find out about certain characters, or be able to, and even in the gameplay, like oh gosh, the animations, like I do not skip any single one.
Oh,
like,
no.
I do not a single one. I love watching them, and like when you see that close up.
Oh no,
it's like
it's awesome.
It's like, yo, that person's ready to fire, like just critical damage. I mean,
oh, he did.
I'm like, boom, and then you see the critical damage. I'm like, yes, but it would suck to be on the receiving end of the critical damage. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it does.
It does. Yeah.
let me speak a little bit from experience on that one. So
yeah,
I'll say you hit a lot of points that I do want to dive into a little bit. First of all, yeah, I was kind of feeling overwhelmed early on, like really early on, because they front load a lot of choices on you, such as a little choice. But do you want to be the male or female main character? I'm like, okay. Then which house do you want to pick? And they don't give you like they introduce you to the characters and do a fairly good job at it, but they don't give you a whole lot of information to go on.
Right.
So I was actually a little bit glad that I had researched a little bit, so I had a good idea.
Yeah, same here.
Speaking of, Sergio, what house are you?
I am with the Blue Lions, House of Blues.
Nice. Kevin?
I am of the Golden Deer.
And I am with the Black Eagles. So fly, Eagles, fly. And that actually just worked out. That just kind of was what we wanted to do. And I was talking about the Eagles for a while. And I know you guys were looking at your, like, Sergio, you kind of kept mostly in the dark on this game. So
yeah, yep.
What made you eventually go with the Lions here?
Well, honestly, I guess it was Dimitri being your typical chivalrous knight. A little bit on the boring side. That I guess that speaks to me personally. I feel like I feel like there might be a little something to him later on into his story, into his class.
Dude, he gets
So
an eye patch.
so yeah, that one spoke to me. I was close to choosing the Black Eagles, but no, Dimitri charmed me.
That's funny. I was very close to the
Hmm.
Lions too. So
Oh.
like those classes have a little bit of overlap, at least in the start. And I think that's intentional, actually. So
Mhm.
Kevin, what drove you to the deer?
Yeah, first of all, I was hoping that we can all choose different houses. I know you guys weren't sure at first, and I was like, I just hope we can be all different houses. I think it would work out really well. But then, it had to come naturally. And for me, it was more like, I was listening to each of the three main characters' dialogues and stuff, and how they talk, and the body language, and things like that of that nature. And then, and like you, Daryl, I did a little bit of research too, of just the characters that I will be coming into for each house. So, with that being said, I really like Quad. He's very laid back. He's not too proper, which is all good because he's like very easygoing, laid back, just kind of. But he seemed really mysterious. You can tell like he's hiding something, but he doesn't want to say it, so he puts up this facade of like, oh, yo, it's all good. I mean, he doesn't say exactly that, but he has that sort of vibe. And I mean, and
Hey, somebody make an image of Claude saying, "Oh no, it's all good."
it's all good, right? I mean, I think Cube would be, Cube, one of our
Yeah,
most
that needs
distinct.
to happen. Like now, I may make that my own.
Yeah, Cube is one of our most distinctive friends and members of the community. He does a really good job with, graphic design and art and all that. So Quad would be, I mean, I'm sure Cube would do a great job with Quad. And yeah, I know I'm a big fan of the spears and lances and stuff, but I'm down for the bows too. And I think I was like, yo, going deer, boom, and then yeah, it worked out.
So, this is kind of funny. Of the three, Claude was easily my least favorite. Sergio, did you kind of get that opinion too?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
same thing.
Like honestly riled me up a little bit. I just something about him just now
I can see
eventually
that. Yeah.
I'm going to play this game a lot, like a
Hmm.
lot, and I'm going to play all three houses at some point. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing each side of it. But I gotta say, so this is, and I said this to some friends and just kind of in passing, and then I really thought about what I said, and no, I kind of came back to the same agreement thus far into the game, which is roughly 25 hours into the game. This is maybe the best written game I've ever played, period.
Wow.
uh
Yeah.
just, I mean, think about what they're doing. There's so many lines of dialogue from all different characters and personalities and different dialects. It's all voice acted, which is awesome.
Yes.
And it's, I don't know, it's so compelling the way they said it. And I got a little tiny glimpse of that very, very early when they introduce you to the three lords, which is like really early. Uh,
Mm.
and it said something. I'm paraphrasing. Edelgard, it said, uh, she's noble, regal, but it feels like she's always judging you, which I was like, fair enough. I kind of like that. That's fine. I
Mm.
mean, she's smart and whatever. Dimitri, noble, chivalrous, but it seems like he has a dark side, like, okay, fair enough. Claude, it said it perfectly. It was like, he's friendly, easy to smile, but the smile doesn't reach his eyes. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you're an enemy. I'm like, no. I don't know. It's just little clever perks and twists in the dialogue that every time I play the game, I'm so compelled by what is actually being said, how the characters are saying it, the delivery of them. It's some of the best voice acting I've ever heard in a game. For the most part, there's that it's a little hit and miss at times, but some of the characters are really well done. Edelgard in particular is just like super believable in what she's saying.
Yeah, she's like so fierce, and she has a strong like. You can tell like
Mhm.
she has a strong aura. This her body language, and I feel like for both Edelgard and Dimitri, they're both very like. There are people that you can take to war with, and they will ride or die with you no matter what. And I think that was the key that I took from both of them. Claude, unfortunately, isn't that way.
Claude may use you as a human shield.
He probably would.
Yes.
He might do that.
But I'm always cool with the odd one out. Claude is. I mean, I gotta say he looks pretty swaggy. I mean, his hair. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah.
He does have good hair.
He does have good hair. Now, obviously, that shouldn't be the most important factor into choosing a lord, but I liked all
It's
three.
pretty high up there. It's like battle skills, personality, are you evil or not, and how's your hair. That's pretty much the top 4 right there.
I gotta say though, Dimitri does have good hair too, and Edelgard. I mean, they all have good hair, but I think Claude's hair appealed to me the most. I don't know. Anyway,
they are all ridiculously good looking. Yes, that's
very good,
true.
very good. Yeah. Oh man, I think with Claude though, I like the fact that with and it's mentioned in previous directs, like the Lesser Alliance, there's no like one king, or it's like a sovereign. There's like multiple leaders within the country or just the state, and like I think another thing too is that part of me felt like Claude has a chip on his shoulder. I mean, and his group of bandmates, like most of them are commoners, and I think that really touched with me because I kind of like that sort of underdog sort of spiel, and these commoners, they come from different backgrounds and they're just trying to make it out, just trying to be accepted. And I'm obviously overreaching for stories and backgrounds here, but that's why I chose the Golden Deer. I'm like, yo, like these are like a group of like different people, different misfits, but as a collective, they can fit. They're like a solid team. So that's how I felt about Golden Deer, just from playing the game and just looking through the lords and stuff and seeing what I like, and like especially the hair. But anyway, but for real, like just the personalities and just the stories, and or the initial stories that you get to you get to see and hear before you choose your lord, or your house. So
And one thing I want to ask, just because everybody I ask this question is like emphatic about yes, absolutely. Are you guys happy with your choices?
234% happy.
You're missing a percent there.
235? Yeah.
You're not happy at all, are you?
Oh, no.
You freaking hate Claude now, don't you?
Oh, no. He's going to use me as a human shield. Ends over.
Stupid hair.
Stupid hair. He should just go. He should just shave it and have like a nice shiny bald head. But
oh god,
no, you probably look good there too. But anyway, I'm just.
All right, Cube. That's another one for you.
There you go.
I want a bald Claude saying, "Nah, it's all good, yo."
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, Sergio, what do you think? Are you very happy with this game so far?
Oh, yes, and definitely happy going with the Blue Lions in my class and all of my students. I'm fairly early in the game. I haven't recruited anyone, but I am getting to really know and really get to like all of my students. Of course, I do like all the other characters in the games, the other 2 lords and their students, but man, I am liking my Blue Lions for sure.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic with the Eagles. And I do want to say, recruiting, you can recruit students from other classes. That's not a spoiler. They talked about it a lot. We didn't really know how that was going to happen, but you do it by leveling up your main character in different ways or developing really good supports with them. Even though they're not in your class, you can do that. And then they'll eventually you'll get the option to ask them if they want to, and that's kind of a dice roll, or they'll come tell you, hey, I want to be in your class, and the correct answer is always yes. Just because, hey, more people, that's great if you're doing our pact, especially because this game is not easy.
No, it's not.
I was impressed with, it's not too terribly hard to recruit other students, but you're probably not going to get everyone. So you do have to make some choices, and you do have to it's certainly possible to get everybody, but that's kind of a min-max type lifestyle, and most people aren't going to do that on the first playthrough for sure. But you pick the ones you like and you grab them and into your class, and then they join your party and such, and that's pretty cool. So real quick, another thing that's not spoilery, but it is a story beat that we all know about. There is at some point a complete switch up in the game. Complete switch up. And none of us are to that point yet. So, check back with us later on.
Whoa.
We'll talk later. But so I want to get real quick into the actual combat of the game. So let's get into the meat of Fire Emblem in this game. And there are some significant differences from how it was in Awakening and Fates. So very specifically, there's no pair up function. So you can't pair up 2 units and just have them go murderize the map. That's not there. There are some benefits to having them attack when they're next to each other, but it's not as kind of defining as those games had it.
Right.
There's no children, so you're not min-maxing in that particular way. But to me, the combat feels really, really good. Actually, maybe best Fire Emblem style combat. What do you guys think about it? The actual battle sequences.
I agree. I think it's the best they've ever done in the history of Fire Emblem games. Granted, I haven't played all of them yet, but I'm still very okay. So the thing about not having a weapon triangle, that one kind of threw me off a little bit, but I mean they did it pretty well.
It's kind of nice.
It is nice, yeah. But in the real though, in my head I'm like, yo, there's a guy with a lance, I gotta use an axe. Inherently,
and it still kind of works. It's not like a built-in advantage, but it's still, that's just kind of the way it goes. Like for whatever reason, it's still kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was also very concerned about the lack of the weapon travel, but I'm definitely with you. It's just, it opens up the options that you have in battle. Like everyone can use any different weapon, and of course that just encourages you to try different things. I forget the name, what they're called exactly, but basically there's a way for you to use like a stronger attack, but it's gonna take a little bit more out of your weapon. It's gonna affect the durability a little bit more. So you can mix and match the way you do your weapons and your attack, and it really opens things up. It's very, like Darrel said, it's different from the Fire Emblem we're used to, but once you realize those differences and you see what's here, it's really good. It's very, very addictive and fun.
Yeah, so the combat arts,
yes.
There's a bunch of different ones that you get from leveling up your characters in various ways. So there will be ones that do more damage or have a better hit rate or have a better crit rate. Or in case of bow users, allow them to attack from farther away, which is
really nice,
awesome.
Yeah.
Especially because some of the situations in this game are very scary to deal with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one thing I really wanted to point out. So one thing I've missed for a very long time is going back to the Fire Emblem GBA games. So Fire Emblem. Just Fire Emblem Game Boy Advance with Hector and Eliwood and Lynn. The combat animations in that game were so cool. And you had things like, the assassin would critical and would have disappear and then appear above them, and there'd be 2 big slashes and stuff. It was very animated and over the top and awesome. And that's something that I kind of felt ever since then. I've kind of felt that we were lacking in terms of, okay, cool. Yeah, I see my knight ride up and stab that guy with a lance, but it doesn't look as cool as it did on the Game Boy Advance. I actually really miss the stylized animations. This is the first game since then that I feel does it. And just the animations in the combat sequences are so cool. They're fast, they're snappy. It gets in and out of battle very quickly, which is something that I was kind of missing in some older battle games too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really not eventually in other Fire Emblem games, the 3D games especially, I would eventually just turn off the combat animations. I don't want to see this anymore. I don't see myself ever doing that in this game just because they're so awesome and they're really cool. They're not as over the top as the Game Boy Advance ones, but you do have some characters doing flips and stuff and doing some really cool stuff. And that adds so much to the game. It's kind of a silly little thing, but it adds so much to the game that I really liked seeing it come back in a way.
Yeah, I like it too. And I mean, I just remember from that Fire Emblem GBA game where, when you're a cavalier or, you're an armored knight and you get to, you twirl your spear like it's the best thing in the world. I thought it was
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Or like the hero class would like throw their shield up in the air and then jump up and grab it and come down with this gigantic swing. Like just
so epic. Oh my god.
yeah, just little things that I've really missed. Like even going back to Awakening with all the characters not having feet and stuff, that was weird. It's nice to see the animations actually looking really good.
And I think that's and that brings up this point, like it's the little things. They do the little things very well in this game. The finer details and just all those details, they add up to this amazing game that we're playing right now. And I think that's why this is definitely a Game of the Year contender for sure. I mean, at least for me, I even if you have never played a Fire Emblem game, like you can't help but feel like feel enamored and attracted to this sort of this being a professor. It feels a bit Persona-like, and there's just so many things that you can do. And even fishing feels good. Like it's just, even though it's simple as like pressing A and trying to get perfect every single time and all that, but I mean there's just something about it. It's simple, and then you gain more professor points and you can raise your professor level. So there's always something productive that you can do while you're exploring the monastery and things like that. So I don't know.
There's a lot of fun in like every aspect.
There
like,
is, yeah.
A lot of the exploring the monastery kind of gives me the same kind of emotional feeling that almost like a Stardew Valley did, which is that's very high praise actually. I don't know. There's a lot of fun, and we're not the only ones saying this. So,
No.
Game Informer, who have kind of a spotty review history with Nintendo, gave it a 95 or 9.5 or something. IGN gave it a 9.5. A lot of outlets, it's really highly reviewed. But even more so than that, if get away from the critics, get to the people actually playing the games. People who have never played a Fire Emblem game before really like it. People who have played Fire Emblem before really like it. Like it's just like I can't remember a more like, this is a very, very positive initial reaction, which is, it's really cool to see for such, this is still kind of a niche series, but
yes,
it's neat to see it get so embraced kind of across the board.
And can we just talk about the music? Like, gosh, the music is so good.
Yes,
it's really good.
I hum like the da 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 da. Ooh, like I just like I hear it, I feel it, I breathe it, I think about it, I think about thinking about it. I mean, it's great. And then even the jazzy classical, like it's like between a jazz and classical type of spiel. Like when you're preparing for battle, I was like, whoa, like my toes like just start to wiggle. I'm like, what is going on? I can't even stop this. Like I just
like even the title screen being in a minor of the Fire Emblem theme, like kind of gave me chills.
Yeah.
And then you jump into the an interaction with Sothis, who is kind of this, she looks like a dragon girl from other games. I'm not really sure if she is or not, but mysterious girl who's somehow linked to you and talking to you. The music that plays in the background of there is like terrifying.
Oh yeah. I mean,
so it starts out with that kind of stuff, and then it gets into really like the music is really well done. I think the artwork is really well done. I'm very thankful that there's not too many like really over the top sexualized characters. That was a real downer in Fates in particular.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking at you, Camilla. I'm looking at
yes.
you.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why they made that decision.
Here's a bathrobe. Put it on, please. It is nice to see that, for the most part, the characters in this are just, they seem like just overall more real characters. There still are some archetypes and still are some tropey type characters and such here, but they feel more genuine about it just overall. And that is really nice to see, because that is something that Fates did not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the level of quality of this game versus Fates is like, they're not even on the same plane to me. Like not.
Oh man, not even close.
And to agree with you a little bit, if the year were to end right now, this is my game of the year.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Hands down.
It's not close. And Mario Maker came out about a month before this, and it's not close. Fire Emblem takes it.
Oh man.
If the game continues the way it is for me now, which I expect it to, this is looking like a top 5 Switch game for me. Like, it's way up there on my list. I'm really digging everything about it, and I can't really say that slightly, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't see myself playing anything else besides this in Rocket League for quite a while. Actually, funny enough, there's been mornings where I've chosen to play Fire Emblem instead of Rocket League.
Whoa.
Oh, dude, and we're gonna get to this, but Hero came out in Smash.
That's right.
And the night that Hero came out, people were playing, and I was sitting here playing Fire Emblem, like, and I like in my mind, I keep being like, well, maybe I should switch over to Smash, and I was like, but I don't want to.
That is very surprising because you're a big Smash player.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was crazy,
Wow.
but
Yeah, dude.
yeah, this it's really cool. So, one final thing. So, we are doing this pact. If you have not listened to us over the past few months, we are playing on normal difficulty on classic mode, and we are just no rewinds, no resets. If characters die, they die.
They die.
So let me ask you guys: have you lost anyone yet?
I have not. I'm very early on, but I have not, thankfully.
I, fortunately, have not lost a unit yet, and I hope that is the case for the rest of the game.
Yeah, join us next week as Kevin breaks down. All of them are dead.
I was like, oh no, Leone, my favorite. I mean, well, she's my favorite, but anyway, we all have our own favorite characters. I like her quite a bit. She's like my my Leah of Fire Emblem, Leah from Stardew Valley. So
I can see that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Actually, she was one of the ones I recruited to mine. I
Nice.
really liked her character for various reasons. She just I like her voice actor, and she seemed cool, and she's another Cavalier, which I really liked. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean she does a great job with that. And then there's that one character I just recruited, Petra. Yes, like man,
and that's my favorite character in the game.
sweet. Yeah, I mean, gosh, versatile. I'm just gonna keep saying that. That's the theme. There's so many versatile characters. There's so many things you can do in the game. I mean, just like
Well,
man.
for an instance, with Petra, I was training her to be like my Myrmidon Swordmaster character. Like she was going to
Yes.
focus on swords and just be swords the entire game. And I was really happy with that until she came up to me at a class and she's like, "Hey, some of the other students say I'm sneaky, so I want to go the thief/assassin route, and I want to
Wow.
learn bow. I want to go sword and bow." And I was like, "Okay,
Yeah, there you go. Do it.
that sounds good, Petra. Go ahead." And I went down that route, and I have not regretted it at all.
Nice.
You know,
So she's
Yeah.
she's an assassin now, so she
Good.
looks awesome.
yeah, and then just like those choices that come up, like that is such a nice thing to see. Just having that sort of AI like be able to, give you that choice to embrace and then to make your gaming experience a lot better. I mean,
And I mean, from time to time, I'm just like, no, seriously, no.
But
I don't
yeah.
want you to be that. Shut up, Linhart.
true, but the fact that they give you the option, I mean, it's still
Yeah,
very
it's great.
It's very nice, yeah. And oh gosh, like I don't have anything bad to say about the game except that it does sap away the battery quite fast, but that's like a very, very small complaint. And I mean, because then there will be times where I mean, okay, so I'll have like I go take breaks every now and then, and, just given my gaming habits, and after 1.5 hours, like it went from 100% to like 45. I'm like, whoa, that's so weird. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you guys have had the same.
That's about normal, though. Like
What,
the
Fire
Switch
Emblem?
battery's only like 3 hours. So
Well,
if you play for an hour and a half, you're about halfway. That's you're on par.
well, I guess
and
there were
let
other
me tell
games
you,
that-
hey,
oh.
I got this new Switch model to sell you later this year. Just check back.
Oh yeah. I'm.
We'll add
Whoa,
2
whoa.
more hours to that, so you just keep on trucking. There you go.
Oh man, that's another. That'll be for another day. But yeah, I mean, I guess with other games, like maybe other like there's other games that I would play that they may not, it wouldn't be in that situation. But I mean, anyway, like, you know what? I have my my travel pack, so if I have to play on the go and charge on the go, it's all good. But I think another thing too, the online, the way they incorporate online and how
Oh yeah, that stuff is cool.
it's cool. Like you get to see how many people chose which option. Like when you're about to choose, like whether you want to battle or whether you want to explore or do a seminar or just rest. I have not chosen rest. I don't know what it does, but
So if you do choose rest, which going by the percentages, nobody chooses rest.
Yeah.
It does. It's got a couple benefits. One of them is a little spoilery, so I'm not going to get into that one. The other one, it increases your students' motivation if you give them a rest day.
Mhm.
So you give them the day off, and they come back happy. So there you go.
That's interesting. Okay. All right. Well.
Yeah, and there is another benefit, but just play the game.
Let's play the game. Yeah.
So.
Uh,
Yeah, but it is really cool because it'll tell you like the percentages of who chose what, and you can kind of use that as a kind of a guideline. If 77% of people chose battle, maybe there's a cool battle. Go check it out, or maybe you don't want to do that. It's no big deal. Also, it'll show you like the most deployed students, so like the students that people are using the most, and the people who are getting recruited the most and stuff. It's kind of neat. It's like this really subtle online integration that doesn't really get in the way, but does kind of add to it. So it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, for sure. And as far as complaints, I honestly don't have any, but there is something that I wanted to point out, and we kind of touched on it earlier, how approachable this might be as your first Fire Emblem game. Yes, it is a little bit overwhelming because there's a lot to this game, both in the school environment and, of course, in the battles. So I think the game does a really good job with the tutorials and the guides that keep coming up, but you might want to really maybe read them twice. We also have a couple of really good tips videos on our Discord, so you might want to check those out. But I would say this is a very good entry point to the series. It's an easy game to get into. It's just gonna take a little bit of time for you to get into what's here. But honestly, once you do, I don't see anyone not liking this game.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is if you do intend to play it on Classic, you do want to be kind of patient with the game. Like, this is not Advanced Wars. You don't want to just send your units out. If I can attack somebody, I'm going to attack somebody. That's not how to play Fire Emblem, particularly if your characters can die and stay dead.
Yeah.
You kind of want to do this more lure type strategy where you move as a unit kind of together, and you send out your tanky characters and then kind of draw in the enemies and then finish them off with all your characters and just kind of
Yes.
keep going that way. If you try to play it like an Advanced Wars or Wargroove or something, you will die and you will cry, and it's very sad. Which, speaking of, I didn't say I did lose a character. I got one of my students killed, and it was one. It was poor Ash, which I picked Black Eagles. Ash is not a Black Eagle student. He is with the Blue Lions, if I'm remembering right.
Yes.
And he joined my class, and something like 3 battles later died. And,
Oh no.
so far, I haven't. That sucked. I wasn't happy about it, but I didn't really know him or really train him all that much, so I'm sure more emotion to come later. That one was just kind of unfortunate. And I will say he's not dead. He's still standing around the monastery. He's just no longer active as an option. So there you go.
Okay. So you can still talk to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is kind of odd. I didn't know that.
I thought, yeah, I would think like, oh, he just disappeared like forever. I'm like, wow, it's okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just him or if that's like everyone, or let's hope I don't find out too often.
Oh, you know what? That just reminds me, and I sorry, I totally forgot, but I don't know if I should spoil it. It is a story character, but he Gilbert, he did die in battle, but he's an ally, so I don't know, like, does that count? I'm not sure, like.
No, he's just one of the ally characters, so
okay.
Yeah, it counts.
So he died when I was.
But he's an ally. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And I remember that map too. He just kind of runs in.
Yeah,
And if you're just gonna kind of run in, dude, you just deserve it.
Yeah, I was like, bro,
listen to the advice that I just gave everyone, and I want you to follow that too. And oh well.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be this veteran,
pour one out. Yeah,
warrior. Yeah, but he's not. I'm like, come on, Gilbert. Anyway,
yeah,
it's all good. But man, this game though, I love the golden deer so much that I want to have like a hat. I want to wear a hat of it, but not a golden hat, but maybe a charcoal gray hat with like a golden deer emblem in the middle of it. Like that would be great. I would love to have one. I would
could
wear
get
it.
you a John Deere hat.
That works too.
That's the same thing, right?
Oh, right, yeah, that's true. John Deere is an awesome brand, so great. Okay, but I mean, if there were Fire Emblem shirts, I would buy one off the bat. Golden Deer first choice. Although I do want to try the other houses too, but I'm rolling with Quad, man. I mean, like I said, he's pretty swaggy. He even calls me Teach, just not teacher, just Teach. I'm like, yo, okay, it's dope. I really like that. And I do want to
every conversation I have with him, I'm like, oh, you're being shifty.
Yeah.
I see it. Oh man. All right. I think that should probably wrap us for Fire Emblem. Obviously, we will keep talking about this game because we want to keep talking about this game. But yeah, we'll come back to it.
Weekly death updates, basically.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
And at some point, and we'll do our first spoiler cast style podcast for this game, because there's a lot here. The story is really good, like really, really good. So, and I'm not even to most of it yet. So, it's right now it's kind of building this suspense just really, really well, and I like it. What can I say? I just like it.
Yeah, I mean, the emotional connections and just the emotional investment I have with some of these characters, man. I mean,
They're all gonna die.
Oh, no. I'm knock on wood right now. I can't even.
You're gonna get to like the last chapter and you're just gonna murder your entire party. Trying to beat the game. I see it.
Oh, man. I mean, well, as long as I can beat the final boss, if I can, then
that's a worthwhile sacrifice.
Yeah, it's worth the sacrifice. No, but this game is just it's great, and I don't know. There's just so many. I think it'll be great to have like you mentioned like a spoiler type of episode. I think it'd be awesome, and then maybe we can invite one of our Discord friends too. Maybe like because like man, there are a lot of people in our Discord that are very into this game.
Yeah, we are absolutely doing that, or like a voice episode or something. Like get people to send in their favorite moments, that kind of thing. Maybe some guests to talk about. If any of you kills off your poor students, maybe send us a little, in memoriam type style. Just let us know.
Right.
I'm eager to hear about it, I guess, in a weird way. I don't know how to say that, but yeah, just if you're playing this game, if you're enjoying it, sound off, let us know, and otherwise, let's talk about Hero.
Yes. I haven't played as him yet, but initially I heard a bunch of pros and stuff. They were like, oh well, he could do this, he can randomly one hit KO somebody, and I'm like, whoa, it seems pretty OP. But Darrel, I want to ask you, is he OP?
No.
Okay. Good.
No. So Dragon Quest Hero added to Smash with a ton of random generated elements. So he has Smash attacks that do crits and do a lot more damage and knockback. He has this down special menu that he gets to pick spells from that show up randomly, including a spell that is called Hocus Pocus that can have random effects such as making you huge, or giving you star power, or instantly killing you, or taking all of your magic power away, or various other fun things. So I'll say this. He is quite strong in a number of ways, but No, he's not. He's not broken. Everybody's
good.
kind of going through the same the same cycle that they did with Little Mac and the same cycle that they did with King K. Rool and such. He's gonna settle out. People are gonna learn it more. Maybe they're not. Maybe he'll just be a a perennial noob stomper, right? But and honestly, he might be. But no, I don't see him wrecking the game, even to the effect that Joker did.
Right.
Whereas Joker's really good. I don't see Hero being up there. But what I am enjoying for this is that Sakurai figured out this way to really, really upset the competitive scene by adding a ton of random elements into the game, and I love it. I think it's really funny, so I'm digging it. So Sergio, have you gotten to play with him a little bit or join in the festivities?
No, well, in the extent of that, I watched the video. I like the spell names a lot for sure, and I do like how, of course, Sakurai always does it. It's not just bringing in the character; he brings in their world. It's four different types of heroes, and he really goes into detail about this is the first time that this hero has been voice acted, or I carried over this little detail from this game because he knows that, of course, especially in Japan, people love this series, and he's bringing all that into this into Smash. We get a pretty cool stage. We get a lot of music for it. We get slime hat. We get a lot of cool things from the series. I have not played a Dragon Quest game. I started 9. It didn't click with me, but I'm being curious, and I know it's huge in Japan, so it's really good to see how Smash basically takes a series and it just runs with it like crazy.
Yeah, from my personal experience, I played Dragon Quest Six on the Nintendo DS, and I mean, unfortunately I didn't finish the game, but I really had a good time with it. I mean, I think I mentioned before how I would play it so much where while two of my housemates were playing Resident Evil 4 or 5, trying to platinum it, I'm just like on the side playing Dragon Quest Six, and we were playing until 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll get McDonald's. So shout out to McDonald's, and get some hash browns, and gotta get the sausage egg McMuffins and all that, and
oh, those are so good.
I know, yeah, and then what have you, and then come back home and we have to sleep because we're pretty tired, and then play some more the next day. This was like during the summer. I mean, it was really fun. It was like
this was me with Fire Emblem.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, Fire Emblem.
I've been taking it into work to play over lunch breaks.
Wow, that's
okay. Back to Hero. Yep.
Back to Hero. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I do have the update. I did download the update for Smash, and I do want to try Hero. And I really, really like Dragon Quest Three's Hero. He's, even though I have not played the game, I had a friend who played it, and I watched him play it a while back, and he looks awesome. And yeah, I have to agree. I think it's a good addition to the whole like character roster to have someone this random, like with just with the different things that the hero can do. And yeah, I mean, gosh, I need to get back into Super Smash. I have not played it in a while now. Like, just all these games are coming out. I mean, I know it sounds like a stupid excuse, but it is a legitimate excuse because, like, man, there's so many games to keep up with. Now I have Fire Emblem taking over my life, my gaming life. So, oh goodness.
Yeah, I'm curious about the timing because we just got this amazing huge game that everyone that's playing is playing it a lot already, and then we get a big update for Smash and a big update for Splatoon 2, and it's like, wow, Nintendo. I mean, we're busy.
Gosh, there's
and we had 3 games that would probably be my 3 games of the year right now come out within a month of each other.
Yes,
and that's Mario Maker, Marvel, which I'll get to, and Fire Emblem would be my top 3 games this year. All came out like Marvel and Fire Emblem came out a week apart, and I'm like, oh,
right.
and meanwhile, the Splatoon final Splatfest, which hey, Team Chaos, I'm not crying, guys. So.
Man.
The final Splatfest was that weekend too, and now we just drop Hero out of nowhere and such. This was supposed to be a down year, Nintendo.
Oh man, it's anything but that. Like, there's just goodness.
Well, it's been so quiet up to this point, and it does make me regret a little bit that Fire Emblem did not come out when it was originally supposed to, which would have been like in a very nice spot early this year. but who
Right.
cares? It's out and it's great.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm glad that we got to play the game. We have it. I wish I could have gotten the Seasons of Warfare edition. I really wanted it so bad, but
I
Best
had
Buy
it
sold out.
pre-ordered and then I just canceled it. I was like, I don't need that. Anyways, back to Hero. So
Yeah,
it's
my bad. We keep going back to Fire Emblem.
that's definitely going to be a hashtag at this point. So yeah, I mean, Hero's a great character, and I do like the fact that Erdrick, so the character from Dragon Quest III and so on, he is voice acted by the same person that voice acted Melee Link.
Ooh.
And you can hear it, and Zachary said it, and I was just like, well, I suddenly want to play this character because I actually did in Melee. I actually did play Link quite a bit, so getting that back, I just like it. I also like his design pretty well. I don't think long term. I don't think I'm gonna play this character very much. I'll probably keep him as a kind of a funsies, side character, but
Right.
yeah, not really my style, but I do appreciate what he's bringing to the game. So
Right.
I'll give him another try and see if that switches. But yeah, I'm not playing Smash right now, not for a while. So the other game I have been playing, unless you guys have anything else on Hero, anything.
Well, I mean, I apparently don't since we keep going back to Fire Emblem. But yeah, I don't really no.
Sergio, any final thoughts?
No.
I do love the stage. The stage that came with Hero is fantastic. I would argue for it to be tournament legal. It's really, really good. It's good looking. It is really solid. So really like the stage. Anyways,
Awesome.
so that wraps that for me at least. So another game I have been playing, and I just mentioned it, is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, which
Sweet.
is a sequel to a game that has not appeared since the Wii era. And, like a very, very long time ago. It's basically just a top-down / 3/4 3D beat 'em up style 4-player with Marvel superheroes in it. It's really fun. It is really, really fun, and I'm very pleased with it. Have either of you looked into this game much at all?
Honestly, I have not. I'm not a big superhero genre type of person. I'm really sorry. I do, but there are some superhero movies that I do like. Wonder Woman, for example, and the Batman series, both. With Christian Bale and the one with, I believe, Jack Nicholson as.
Oh, so you're a DC fan.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so that explains why you don't really like superheroes.
Well, wait, hold on. But I'm okay. But in all honesty, though, if there's anything superheroes that I really didn't like before, it was the Justice League. I used to watch a lot, on Cartoon Network. So anyway, back to the game. I haven't really considered playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, but I heard a lot about it. I mean. And you said this is like in your top 3 of the year, so I mean that's high praise for.
Yeah, so right now it'd be if the year were to end, and I could just call Fire Emblem what I think it is. Fire Emblem would be number 1, Mario Maker probably be number 2, and then Marvel.
Okay.
And I think that's fair. I mean, so Marvel was published by Nintendo. They specifically wanted to bring back this series, which, as somebody who really liked the Ultimate Alliance and X-Men Legends series. Great, fantastic. I was so happy to see it come back. So the kind of the highlights that I want to pick here there are some slight RPG elements, like you do level up characters and unlock skills and stats and such for each. There's a ton of characters, 30 something, and each one. Yeah, with some crossover, but a lot of the characters seem to feel really different than each other, which is really important to me in a beat 'em up style game, particularly a multiplayer beat 'em up style game. You want people to kind of have, powers or abilities that kind of gel together but are not identical, right?
Right.
It's just nice to see that they actually did that. And this has online play, and it has a very nicely implemented online play in that if you're playing the game and you get to a checkpoint, you can start online, and your friends can hop in and help you continue the rest of the level, or whatever. If you're playing with somebody locally, you can still hop online and have another friend jump on. I've done both, and that's
pretty cool. Yeah.
really nice. And it's something that I'm hoping for with something like as we're approaching Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles at some point that does have online play. I really hope it's implemented this well. It's actually kind of a similar game. They're more similar than you might think, but I really do hope that it's implemented this well, because aside from just a little bit of lagginess with a rando online, I really haven't had any issues with this. It's been pretty smooth overall, and then the gameplay is just fun, and I like beat 'em ups, but I only really like them if they're done really well. If the move sets actually make sense and kind of flow into each other, and you get some cool powers, and you get the ability to kind of work together and such. And this game has all of it. It's really good if you like superhero games, if you like beat 'em ups at all, if you like 4-player just kind of mayhem type games. I would recommend it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I have not beaten it yet. I'm closing in on that, but there's a lot of stuff to do here with some extra challenges and such that are actually pretty smart about the way they did it. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do. There's DLC coming that, depending on what it is, I may or may not get it, but I have been playing with people like Shy Guy and Peachy and such, and it's just a fun time. So yeah, I'm pretty much always up to play this game. This is the only game thus far that I have dropped Fire Emblem to play other than Smash. So I did play Hero a little bit in Smash, and then the only other game was Marvel. So take that for what it's worth, I guess.
Good stuff. Actually, I got one quick question, and I do want to mention, just a preface, I really, really did like the Black Panther movie from last year. So I want to ask, how's Black Panther in the game? Is he still really cool? I mean, do you use him a lot? Like, do you have to
He's
unlock
supposed
him?
to be awesome. I have not gotten to him yet.
Okay, and so shout out to Black Panther, and man,
we know you're listening. Wakanda forever. Yeah.
Wakanda forever. Yes. I love that movie. No, but I do. It's okay. I know I just said that I'm not a big superhero movie type of person, but there are certain ones that I do like. Okay. That's all I have.
Well, and Darrell, you kind of touched on it earlier, but I was wondering, like, how much value do you think there's in this game? Do you see yourself like playing it again with different characters, or taking like a different approach? It's not one of those games like you beat it and you're kind of done, right? You're gonna go back to it.
Right.
Yeah, I probably will. And there's additional difficulty modes, and so that's actually a good thing to bring up, because a lot of beat 'em ups are a little bit brainless. You
Right.
just kind of play them to kind of chill out. The higher difficulties of this game are not like that. There actually is a lot of strategy involved. There's a lot of, if you don't do things right, you will die type gameplay. And so I'm looking forward right now. I'm just kind of going through it on normal. On mighty is the normal. I'm looking forward to going through it again on hard, and I think there's another one on top of that. But again, with people, as we learn more and level up our characters and such. Right now, I'm kind of in the phase where I'm just like trying out a bunch of different characters and seeing what they do, and then I've jumped into some online matches with some friends who are a little bit lower leveled. So I'll pick a different character who is lower level and play along with them. So that's just kind of how I'm enjoying it right now, but I am looking forward to getting better at the game and kind of learning more about it. There is a finite number of mission maps, but I've been pretty happy with the length that I've played so far. And like I said, there are some challenges and such that are pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy with the value personally.
Are there any things that you might not like about the game? Like any like nitpicking gripes, or like what are some minor things that make if they weren't happening, like this would be a perfect game? Like what are some things that you find like, oh, okay, this is kind of whatever?
So this is a Koei Tecmo game. It is a Koei Tecmo brawler game, which means that certain things are to be expected, such as janky camera from time to time. It's here. It's here in full force. Generally, you can kind of power through and get through it, but it does get annoying at times. And there's a slight amount of bugginess from time to time, but I've only seen it pop up once or twice, so it's not like rampant or really bad. Just every once in a while it reminds you you're playing a Koei Tecmo game, and you're like, oh, okay.
All good.
So
Cool.
yeah, I ended up pretty positive on it so far, and it's a game that I'm gonna definitely keep playing now. As soon as I can get through the however many 100 hours I spend in Fire Emblem. So
Yeah. Oh man.
this is our life now.
You know what? I mean,
Welcome to the Fire Emblem podcast.
it's just like it's crazy how Fire Emblem can be so addicting. Like just, I mean, like the role of being a professor too. It's just like wow. Like I don't know.
So, anyways,
Anyway, okay, I know we're going back to Fire Emblem. I know I am. But, okay, cool. Well,
that almost wraps us. We do have one more piece of news that I'm pulling up some details on right now. Have you guys heard about game trials?
I heard about it very briefly. If you don't mind me stealing a little bit of your thunder, I know it's for Mario Tennis Aces.
yes. Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
So Nintendo has lifted the lid, according to IGN. A new program called Game Trials, which is a lot of people are talking about it for Europe, but I think it's already has it come to the West?
I don't know yet. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it hasn't. I don't think it's there yet. But I am so glad that they're doing this for Mario Tennis Aces because I really like playing doubles. And especially with one of our most distinctive friends and members of our Discord community, Dragon. Shout out to Dragon. He's like, in my eyes, he's the number one player in Mario Tennis Aces. And I'm sure there are like some really good people too, but Dragon's the best. And I just want to say that. And it's such a great game, and like there's just so much that you can do with like, I mean, as a tennis fan, like you want to be able to play this game to its fullest. And I wish they release doubles like right from the get go. But I'm glad that they're putting into the game trials. And yeah, I just think it's but I hope it's successful. I mean, are they doing this for other games too, or just for Mario Tennis Aces? I mean,
so right now it sounds like just Mario Tennis Aces, but they have specifically called it Game Trials.
okay.
So that kind of implies to me that there are some future ones planned, which, I mean, cool.
Yeah.
So to clarify something, I got a little mixed up on. So this is not confirmed for North America yet. It is confirmed for Nintendo Europe, so you better believe I'm going to make a European account on my Switch and play along. So Mario Tennis was a game that I had for a while, got a little bit fed up with it, sold it, and they since have updated it a ton. So yeah, this is perfect. I would love to get back into it, see what they've done. It's kind of a difference from just like a rental. So hey, I'm on board, and I really hope, I do hope that they bring this to the West, and I guess Europe is kind of the West, but I hope they bring it to North America, and I do hope that they continue this with more games. There are specifically some games that I have not gotten around to playing, such as Mario Party. Hey, there's one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few in there that I would love to see kind of pop up, get some popularity on them, and if people want to buy them and play them afterwards, great. If not, if it's just a freebie reason to have the Nintendo Switch Online, I mean, that's cool too,
I feel like that would be a great option for Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD when it comes out.
Yeah, that would work really well. Man, game trials. Yeah, it's just I'm really glad they have this sort of thing, and I mean, could you guys see this with Pokemon Sword and Shield? Like,
no.
Yeah, I was gonna say yes.
Like a year after it comes out, maybe.
Okay.
When they're like Ultra Sword and Ultra Shield are about to come out.
Gosh, I hope they don't do that. I have to say.
No, it's gonna be Super Sword and Super Shield.
No. Well, release Spear first. The third one.
It's gonna give you a slightly different story for the same game.
Oh my gosh.
$60, please.
$60.
Oh, there's totally some new little critters in there. We promise, they're in there.
Okay,
The
man.
National Dex is back and such. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
$60,
yeah, there you
$60,
go.
please.
Just stick into that. Yeah, just. Oh man. Well, that's gonna be a great game. I hope. As a tormented Pokemon fan, I hope it's great. Oh man. You know,
I know it will be.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what?
I have faith.
That's enough for me then. I mean, if you believe in it, I believe in it too. And Darrel's gonna get it too. So it's like, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
yes.
If I can get through Fire Emblem by November, yes. So
Yeah.
a couple things about Game Trial. So it's being made available in Europe. It's coming August 7th through August 13th for Mario Tennis, and color me intrigued. I definitely have my eyes on that one. I don't know exactly how that's going to turn out, especially for us, but we will see. So, and to all of our European listeners, I'm jealous. So hopefully it comes over.
Yeah.
So love you guys.
So we do still have our weekly question to our listeners, and just to go back to last week's question, I don't think I saw anyone answer this one on the Discord, but
I didn't see anyone answer it.
yeah, we asked if you could only see one color for the rest of your life, which color would it be? And Darrel, I know you said I would pick brown. No, I would not. I honestly, this might surprise, or it's probably gonna make you glad, Darrel. I would pick purple.
Ooh.
That wouldn't
That's a
be
good
bad.
one.
That wouldn't be
Yeah,
bad.
because like blue, if you pick blue, of course the sky is gonna look, pretty much the same as you know it. But then I don't know, that's kind of boring. I feel like purple is a little bit close to blue, but it's different enough.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
choice.
probably would go purple too. Actually, I was actually thinking of that, but yeah,
I will not go purple. I'm a
typical
I'm
golden
curious.
deer.
you know,
Typical golden deer.
well, okay.
I
Gotta
would
be
guess
different.
yellow. Yes.
I would choose charcoal gray because it's things aren't always black and white. There's always there's always that gray area, and I love charcoal. Like just in general, and charcoal gray is going to be the color that I would use or would choose. So, yeah.
Nice.
All right, and I have a question for us this week for
Okay.
your listeners. This is one I like, so I'm gonna take some time to really come up with an answer. So, you are now a student within Fire Emblem, and you get or the gist of that in your actual life, but you get the choice to completely change your focus in life from whatever you're doing. So for me, be an engineer, I want to completely change and do something that I think would be good for me as a different career. What would you pick?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh man.
That's awesome.
It can be a growth moment. It could be just something that you're interested in. But whatever. Yeah, if you had to choose something different than what you're doing as a way to grow as a person, a la Fire Emblem, what would you pick?
Damn. All right. We
Nice.
gotta think about this one. This
Yeah,
is very thought provoking. Yeah. Man.
Yeah, so you got a week. We'll come back to it.
Okay, we got a week. All right. Well, tune in
We'll
next
all
week.
meet up next week around this time and go, oh crap, we didn't think about that. I don't know, bus driver.
Oh man. You know what? We will have some answers for next week.
So anyways, how cool is Fire Emblem? No, I'm done.
Oh,
We're done.
Yo,
We're done.
yo, man, no, we're never done. We're never done. This game is awesome.
Sergio,
man.
save us, please.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We're going to jump up out of here. If you haven't already, feel free to join our Discord group. We have a great community to chat and to play Fire Emblem with, and other games too, I guess. And we would love to have you there as well. If you're interested, the description for this episode has a link to our Discord. Other than that, we have a Facebook group, and we also have Twitter and Instagram accounts, and we are there as Nintendo Jump. You can listen to all of our episodes on YouTube as well. Please send us any feedback you have at NintendoJumpPodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, the best way to do so would be through our Patreon. That's patreon.com/NintendoJump. And another way to support would be by leaving a review for the show in your favorite podcast application. Either way you choose, thank you so much for your support. This is Sergio, and on behalf of Darrel and Kevin, thanks for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Da, 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 da. I just leveled up.
Oh man. Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.